Man, that looks good. Okay. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty good at this. Well, hello. My name is Chuck Ross, and we're playing Minecraft. And today is a little bit of a different episode because I build a creek. I don't normally build creeks. And I didn't think I was building a creek when I started recording this episode. So the intro is mostly me explaining the general idea for the lay of the land. When I started filming this episode, I didn't know that's what I was going to do until I realized that's what I wanted to do. So the first couple of clips you're going to see are mostly going to be me talking about what I plan to do with the area. But don't worry, we get to the creek pretty soon. So sit tight, enjoy, I guess, like and subscribe, all that. And first thing I want to do is to do a little bit more work on this area. We're not doing terraforming again, don't worry. I did, however, actually move the fence line a little bit just to make things a little bit easier to deal with. So now this fence, rather than coming out a little bit, it sort of goes straight across and it meets up here. So I just moved this over a little bit. But what I want to do is come over here and do a little bit of mapping. This way I will be able to get an idea of the lay of the land and figure out what I'm actually going to do with it. I already have a general idea, actually a pretty specific idea. It's just getting the layout might be... It's the part that I'm never great at, to be honest. So what we're looking at is the map of the area, and this is the sort of work road that I plan on building. This is actually going to be a creek, because I've got this mound here, and I thought it'd be really cool to have like a little bit of a stone archway here that sort of leads out into like this little, mostly dried up riverbed, mostly creek actually. I think we'll call it a creek. That'll be more accurate. And then on either side of the road, I'm going to have large sections of like wheat and carrots and potatoes and then melons and pumpkins somewhere. But I think just having the small creek run through here and then having this section where the melons and pumpkins go might make the most sense. So what I want to do is decide how large these sections are. Do I want to have patches for all of the different kind of vegetables and stuff? Or do I want to just stick with wheat, carrots, potatoes? I mean, that really just leaves out beetroot, I think. Wheat, carrot, potato, beetroot. I think that's it. Do I not have beetroot seeds? That might actually be something I don't have. I could have sworn I had a beetroot somewhere. Well, I guess that answers my question, huh? Maybe they're over here? How do I not have beetroots? Okay, well now I need beetroots because I didn't know I didn't have them. I'm probably not going to use them, but I need them. The only beetroot. Well, I now have 4 beetroot seeds. Now, at this point, I mostly go through and talk about what I plan to do, except I don't actually have an idea of what I want or how I want to lay it all out. I basically cut out all of that and just go to me figuring out that maybe I just want to build a creek today. So that's what I do. I gotta say though, I am super pleased with this creek. I could not be happier with it, so hopefully enjoy. I feel like I might be getting slightly ahead of myself. Maybe what I should do is just get some of the points of interest in, and then I can figure out just filling in the land with whatever feels right as far as carrots and potatoes and all that goes. I feel like that's probably the better way to do it. I don't know, though. So maybe I'm just going to build a creek. I think I'll just do that. Yeah, let's do the creek for now and then worry about the fields later. So as far as the creek goes, I do kind of like it hugging the fence a little bit more, but I kind of also like the nice curve that this one has. Some kind of in-between, maybe literally, would be the right way to go. So let's think about this. I'm doing a creek with a little bit of an underground opening. So what I need is cobble and probably moss and a combination of the two. And I think I might bring a mostly regular stone. Let's see. I could try some basalt. That could be interesting. I could probably do some dripstone on the ground. That could be pretty good. I know that's got like a nice wet look. Soul soil would probably be nice. I don't have a lot of it. Could I do something with lapis to make it look like there's like puddles of water That could be interesting. I will hold on to that. I'm not going to plan on it, but I like the idea. All right, I think that's everything. Right, so what I'm thinking is maybe I will actually have the opening be up here. So for right now, I'm just going to replace the dirt around where I think the water's going to go with some stone and see how I want to then carve away the stone to make the opening. Of course, from there, I can then come in and decide where the mossy cobblestone and the regular cobblestone, and if I end up using the dripstone and all that. All right, I like where this is going. I do want to build the stone up a bit more, actually. Maybe a little bit more on the outside. I think this layer is going to end up being dirt, possibly moss. Do I want a 2x2? That feels like that looks about right. 3 is too much. So maybe something like that? That feels pretty good. I'm kind of wondering what it would look like if I replaced like large portions of it with the raw andesite. Because it's got a little bit more of a weathered look, but it doesn't look quite as broken up as cobblestone, obviously. That is kind of a lot. I think maybe what we'll do is kind of try to round out the look of the thing. So we'll get some of the stairs and slabs of both the smooth stone and the andesite. So places like there and there, that kind of thing. Do I want to do a little bit of that? A very little bit. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. So let's look at the mouth of this little cave entrance. I think here is where we're gonna do a lot more of like the moss, cobble, and just regular cobble. How does the basalt look? Very dark. So maybe I could use that for the places that are already covered in water, or might be kind of wet from like splashing maybe. I would also kind of like to narrow the throat of this cave a little bit more. Kind of like it comes down a little bit, something like that. And I'm gonna bring up the sides a little bit as well. Maybe here is where I would do the tuff. And then some more of the mossy stuff. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Let's see. Probably a couple more of the moss carpets, just a little bit. And then come back in here. And then for the river creek itself, I think I want to come down and kind of skirt between these two lines, meet up here, and then follow that kind of through. I might just take this straight down a little more direct. Give me my blocks back. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think that's the curve to go with. Okay, cool. I think I've got about what I want the stream to look like. So I think it's time to go ahead and start decorating where the stream is going to be, and kind of surrounding that with a little bit of stone, but mostly it's going to be like dirt and some, probably, where is that? There we go, dripstone. Mostly stuff like that, I think. I think there might be occasional stones, but for the most part it's going to be dirt. I'm going to widen it just a little bit, but hopefully not too much. We'll see if this is too much. I've got a general idea of how the stones are going to work in this area, but I think what I need to do now is actually get the river bed and bank figured out. So what do I want to use for that? Dark oak might be too dark. Spruce would probably be the way to go. Let's try a little bit of those. Coarse dirt, certainly. I don't have any rooted dirt, do I? Now, if I recall, I need space there. Get that to grow up. That'll turn into rooted dirt, and then I can bone meal that. Nice. Okay. So I am going to make a bunch of roots and then probably make some rooted dirt. I really hope that's how that works. So I can't do that. That's kind of weird, actually. I feel like that should be a thing. Well, I guess I have hanging roots now, so there's that. The question right now is it worth finding one of those naturally occurring azalea trees and then just scooping up all the dirt? That is a question. I don't know what the answer is. All right, so let's say I wanted to do podzol for the riverbed. It's not bad. Spruce would look better. It kind of does, actually. And then say that goes to rooted dirt, maybe? or not rooted, coarse dirt and podzol. Let's try the dripstone, see how that looks between them. That's not bad. That also has a nice sort of saturated dirt look. Maybe I do need to widen the riverbed. So if I make it like 4 or 5 wide, maybe that's the answer I'm looking for. Yeah, the stripped oak is, or the oak in general, I think is going to be too light for that. But you know what? Maybe let's go to a test world and see what we can do with there. That might be the way to go. Future Chick Ross here, jumping in for hopefully the last time. Should be the last time. I went into my test world and messed around a bit, found the design that I want to go with, and on my way back in, I had some time that I couldn't actually record, but I could get some stuff done. So I went ahead and got a whole bunch of rooted dirt, and on the way back, I actually ran into one of those underwater zombie-filled village things, the underwater ruin things, and I found a trident boy. So roll clip. Let's go. Nice. Okay. I was out here because there was some time that I couldn't record, but I could, actually play. So I decided to come out here and get some rooted dirt. And found that guy. And this little guy. And now I have a treasure to go for, which I think I've gotten this one before. What do you know? Since I'm here, though, do I have them on me? I should. There should be in here. I might have done this already, but I'm not sure. Let's grab some of this. Thank you very much. Well, after going through my test world and doing some stuff, I think I've figured out how I'm going to do this. And it's going to involve some dark oak, some smooth basalt, and plenty of the other stuff that I already grabbed. I tried to make sure to stick to blocks that I knew that I had a decent quantity of. You will not rob me of my dirt. To start off, what I'm going to do is mostly widen this to at least 2 blocks wide. I found that that's kind of the minimum. Large portions of it might end up being closer to 3, though, so, it's going to be a bit of a wide creek, but, still a creek. Alright, so the widening begins. This might actually end up being a good thing overall, because that means that with the wider path, I'll be able to actually play with the sort of curve of the river quite a bit more. Yeah, that shape is significantly better. Alright, next, what I'm going to do is come through with the dark oak, and that is going to be the new riverbed. Might want to make some of those, or sections like that. I think we'll do this, and then have the water cascade off of this, sort of down both sides, and then down. Let's see, let's do like this. I think will be the best choice. That way it kind of flows down more towards the middle, hopefully. I might extend this one out as well, now that I have that idea. Kind of like that. Okay, so I'm just going to do this for the entire river, and then I will get back to the next step. I want to move this over a bit so that it comes down here, lands on this one, and splits off from there. So I think I need to lift up some of these guys. Let's see, falls here, maybe comes here, here, and here. I think that'll do it. Yes, okay. Let's open the floodgate. Not what I was looking for. Now we use a little gentle persuasion to fill the area. Why aren't you going where I want you to? There we go. You fill the area. And then we want you and you. Okay, now it should work. So now we come in and we help it along just a little bit. Next, what we've got to do is put in a couple of rocks. So for one thing, what I'm going to do is anytime it bends just a little bit, I'm actually going to come in and put something like that there. For now, this is just going to be a marker to tell me where I'm going to build the rest of the stone. And then for this long and straight section, what I'm going to do is actually kind of slalom the rock sort of back and forth. So we've got that rock here, and then we're going to put, say, another one here. And then we're going to come over and do like another one there. And then a little one maybe there. Kind of here, I guess. Don't have to do it every single time, but, you know, as a rule, or as a general guide, I would say, maybe putting one wherever it's going to make a large turn. You'll see in real life that the snaking rivers will happen on their own. However, what you might notice as well, especially on smaller scales, is that you'll find like a single rock that just sort of diverts enough of the river, or again, creek, diverts just enough of the creek's force to sort of start carving away at the dirt. So that's really all you need to do is just sort of like make it look like there was something that sort of nudged the river around before it, you know, started curving back down the hill. So I'm kind of marking where they go, but then also like the size of just the amount of the amount of the tuff that I'm putting down. I want to break up this long straight of grass here. Yeah, and then especially with this like long lazy section, this one could be fun because we could do like a couple in the middle here with how wide it is. I think this is going to go really easily, actually, especially now that I have like the individual steps that I need to do. So let me build up these boulders, which should be pretty simple, actually. So one thing I'm going to do is actually come in here and replace the tuff that is under the water with the baked basalt, because it just looks a little bit more soaked, more saturated. We'll do that, and the basalt will go here. Is that a full block of water? Probably not. It is now, and do that. Unfortunately, I don't have stairs or slabs of these, so we'll have to make do with those. I could probably do dark oak slabs, maybe? Doesn't look bad, but doesn't really do what I was looking for. But I think that's actually okay. So I'm going to bring the basalt a little farther out and maybe even a little farther back. Kind of like that. And we will call that one good for now. This one, we will do a little bit of the same. And maybe we'll do the stair there. Nice. And then one of the things that we can actually play around with is stuff like this, where because of the level of the water, it actually makes sense that this would, you know, be where it is. It doesn't feel like it's, you know, doesn't make sense physically. I'm just going to do these now rather than walk through the process of placing every single individual boulder. So I will be back. Honestly, with the rocks and everything, this is looking really good. I was a little nervous doing all of the sort of diagonal sections, but I think they turned out pretty well. I'm also super happy with how this little waterfall section turned out. It's pretty nice. I also decided to just play around with not stripping the dark oak, and I kind of like the look. I gotta be honest. It's a little bit more texture on the bottom. I haven't, most of this is still the stripped dark oak, but just the stuff at the very bottom. Either way, next we're going to move to the dirt and podzol stuff, and a little bit of moss blocks, and oh, I forgot I got the rooted dirt now. Am I going to use the rooted dirt? I don't know. It's a little brighter than I would prefer to use in this section. As an example, like here, it's a bit brighter, which is fine as a whole, but for like the very saturated look that I'm kind of going for, I don't think the rooted dirt is going to work. Okay, so what I'm basically going to do is come through and a couple of places, especially around the water itself, I'm going to come through and put the podzol down, mostly trying to keep it directly on the water, although it can come out a little bit. That's fine. So just as an example patch, we're doing this here, and I think I want to bring it out a little bit farther, and then we come back in with the coarse dirt, and generally kind of surround the podzol, and maybe a little bit around some of these rocks. And that is looking pretty good, but I don't want it to be hugging the shore quite that much. So I want to bring that out a little bit to sort of break up that hard line that I've got going there. So maybe we'll just come out a little bit. Yes, I'm going to do this all the way down and all the way back up. And then we'll get to, I think, the next section, which should be a little bit more foliage. That will be fun and very interesting to see if that actually works. I have some ideas I played around with in creative, and I think it'll look pretty good, but we will have to see. Man, it's been a while since I really got into like fully, decorating and texturing and all that. So it was a little hard, I will admit, to kind of get going. But once I really got back into it, I remember just how much I like doing this part. Not the terraforming itself, but definitely this part. You know what? Let's do moss there. Why not? Let's go crazy. I might end up going a little more heavy-handed, especially on this side of the river, because I'm imagining that, you've got the area where the animals are, and you've got the farmland itself, and then on this side, it's probably just kind of left to fallow, just kind of left to go wild. So I might go kind of wild. We'll see. For now, I'm just going to stick to the pattern that I know will work, and if I want to add more, that is pretty easy to do, actually. It would be kind of cool to incorporate a little bit of the podzol, especially the podzol, into the actual river itself. Kind of like, sections of debris have sort of gathered in certain areas. So like here would be a good spot for that. So I've finished placing the podzol for this main area. And what I'm thinking, the way that I'm kind of trying to picture it in my brain is that what you're looking at is sort of how wide the river normally gets when like there's, say, like a thunderstorm or something. Creek, not river, creek. So I'm imagining like, it kind of runs off here. I might widen this area a little bit more. I might bring the podzol up a little bit more towards like the opening here. But I like the idea of like, as it gets farther down the hill where it gets, where it picks up more water, but also it sort of starts to flatten out a little bit. It kind of gradually starts to come out a little bit more. And then when you get down here, where it's very flat and a lot of the water has already run down the hill, it kind of widens out into this large patch here. Forgot I have some visitors again. Of course, they actually took out the other visitors that I had. But I'm going to try to figure out how to do this very vertical section, which might be kind of interesting. I think I might end up going kind of lighter on this one and just have it generally overgrown. I'm not entirely sure yet. This is not really the main part that I want to focus on. I really want to focus mainly on the area that is inside the fence. But I kind of think I need to dress this up a little bit as well. So I'm going to do that now. One other little thing that I want to do to fix this area is come in here, replace these with some spruce. And I'm going to bring this down to there. Oh, you can't waterlog the fence gates. I forgot about that. Uh-huh. So I did this area with the podzol now. I think that looks pretty good. There are a couple of places like here where I did like the moss and then the podzol underneath it. I think that looks pretty good. But now it's time to come in and do the coarse dirt. Maybe I'll start here because this part's kind of annoying. I think I'm going to go kind of sparingly with the coarse dirt down here just because I don't really think it needs a whole lot of it. Just a little bit here and there. So now I'm going to come in and just kind of mostly surround the podzol with the coarse dirt. Not going to go too crazy with being exact or precise with it, because it is supposed to be, kind of natural, so not being too precise is kind of how that works. Okay, nice. Next, what I'm going to do is come in and muddy the lines up a little bit more. So what that's going to involve is bringing the podzol into the coarse dirt and the coarse dirt into the podzol a little more. And then extending the sort of harsh line of the coarse dirt and grass, making that blend a little bit better, kind of like up here. Do I want blue ice? Sure, why not? I will also take the tall grass. I will take the lily pads. I might even take the slime balls. Cool. I will also take your life. So I have finished doing the dirt. I have also added some spruce for just a little bit of an extra color, and I think it's looking pretty good. Next up, of course, is going to be the greenery. So I'm trying to decide if I want to do the cattails I think they could look pretty cool. The question is, I don't think I have any already oxidized copper. No. And what else would I need? I would need candles, which I don't currently have access to. Fortunately, I have a whole bunch of bees' nests that are already full, so I think I will just need to go through and actually trim them all. Okay, and then I need string for that, I think, and brown dye, which will be... Can I do that on stripped logs, or no? I can, okay. Maybe we'll just make a couple of them. Like, an even 10 sounds good. And I think I want to do the bars, maybe the lightning rods. I think I need the nuggets to do the chain. I'm not a huge fan of the chain, but I'll do one of them just to see. Would a glass one look okay? In case you haven't seen this before, you take, as an example, chains, and then put this guy on top. Oh wow, that oxidized fast. And yeah, so hypothetically, when that eventually turns green, it looks very much like a cattail. But I don't know if I like the chains. I think between the two, and let's go ahead and try this one, why not? I don't think that's going to look great. And attach it like that, I think. Now, I can't put the glass next to the chain, I'm sorry, next to the bars, because they'll connect. But I think I can put them next to all of the other ones. Aside from each other, of course. So then I get you there, there, and there. I mean, when it's done growing, when it's done oxidizing, I think the bars are going to look the best. The lightning rod is not great, but maybe if I have this on like the ground and like a lower one, nah, that just doesn't look right. The bulb sort of throws it off. I don't actually dislike the panes, except for the fact that if I were to put them next to each other, they would connect like this, which is the same problem with the bars. That might be interesting. I might do a couple of the bars and the glass and leave them be for a bit, see if I like one over the other, or maybe mix and match both of them. That might be the answer there. So simplest thing we're going to do is walk through and figure out where we want the moss blocks to go and the moss carpet. So on top of things like this, I think would be a good one. I don't want to put it right next to that just because it would be right next to an already moss block. But other than that, I don't want to go too heavy. I do like the idea of having them on the blocks. Whoops, that's not a full block. Okay. We'll go there, sure. Ooh, okay. We got one in the middle of the river. That's good. I recall, you can actually put them on the water. Do they have to be connected? No, they don't. Okay, they just float there. That's interesting. I don't know if other things will do that as well, or just the moss. Either way, that's kind of cool. Huh. I'm not gonna lie, the only reason I'm really decorating this section is because I feel like it would be awkward if I only decorated the part in my fence. Also, this will give me an excuse to actually come over and finish the terraforming there, if it actually looks nice. I wonder if I could do, like, the mangrove roots. I forget, does this fully block water from coming out of it, or no? It does, okay. Good to know. So yeah, places like there, and then waterlog, and there, and waterlog. Because, again, I'm imagining, like, debris coming down the river getting trapped in this little section here. Probably there as well. Anywhere else that this feels like it could fit? That's definitely a place. I think we have accomplished the mangrove. So if I were to bone meal in here, that does it. Okay. Now, oh, I forgot. That also kind of turns it into full blocks, doesn't it? I feel like I remember that being a thing. All right. Unless you're right on top of it, it's absolutely unnoticeable, which I'm okay with, actually. Let's see. The kelp is going to grow and generate full blocks of water, so I think we'll avoid that one. I might try to get some glow lichen, but I'm going to wait for it to get dark for that. Kelp can go back Small drip leaf and big drip leaf, on the other hand, I could do now. And where would I put this? Let's see. Let's say like there. Oh, it has to be on dirt. Right. That makes sense. What kind of dirt do I want to use? Probably podzol, because it's dark and it's dark. There, and do that. Ew. I don't like that, actually. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the stripped oak, the stripped dark oak back. Unfortunately, I only have 15 of these small drip leaf. Oh, they have to be planted in water. Okay, that's kind of surprising. I thought you could plant those anywhere. Maybe we will skip the big drip leaf. Maybe the regular lily pads will look okay. Maybe. I kind of want this area to be pretty saturated with the life growing out of the river. So I think I might go kind of heavy on this whole section. Okay, this is coming along. I think we might call that there. Do I want to do lily pads? They don't look terrible. Again, mostly do these on the flat sections. Also, because you can't place them on flowing water, obviously. Let's test out the cattails, because I think that's basically the last aquatic plant I've got to do. Okay, just had a weird thought. Since you can place candles on something and then break the block underneath it and they're fine, could I do grass, bone meal it? Okay, you can't place it on top of that, which that does make sense. Place a couple, break this, then bone meal. You know, it's not the worst. It's actually kind of okay, but I don't really care for the color of the grass that would end up being the cattail. So maybe in a more vibrant area, but for this place, not quite what I'm looking for. Bamboo? Could bamboo? This could work. Granted, they're kind of dependent on where they're planted, and that'll kind of depend on where they sit on the block, but it could work. Now, that's kind of on the side. Oh, you can't place... Okay. That's a little annoying. But that looks pretty good. That's not bad at all, actually. So we go bamboo. Doesn't quite line up on that one. Let's just try the bars on this one. Eventually that'll look better. The bamboo does look pretty good, though. That's a tough one. Plus, I can actually put the panes and the bars in the water. That's a little annoying. Could I do something to fix that? Not really. Aside from just intentionally placing it on something or next to something other than like a full block. I think that's kind of just something I'm going to be stuck with. Does it connect to those? Yes, it does, because that's a block. Okay, how about here? There is okay. Cool. Those look pretty good, especially the bamboo, which I can't do in the water, of course. We'll go glass one there, and I'm going to need to make more bee farms. In the meantime, let's do some of the lichen. For like and subscribe. Got him. Alright, actually though, let's do some of the lichen. Sure. Oh man, would you look at that? I have got to get those beehives going. I need more candles. Well, I got all the cattails in, and I may have gone a little overboard, I must admit. But I also think it looks pretty freaking sweet, so maybe it's fine. It's so good. I kind of want to make a pond just to like fill it with more cattails. But next, what I need to do is wild this side up a bit, and also place in some other little decorative stuff. So what I've got is one of the shulker boxes that I've left up there has some leafy greens in it. So we got some bushes, a couple of firefly bushes, dead bushes, short grass, More short grass. I have some mangrove leaves. I probably won't use them. I'm not sure. I also have a bundle of other things that might work. I don't know. Some of the warped stuff might actually look pretty okay. Kind of taking a page out of BWO's book there. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and I guess just start planting stuff. I want to go kind of lighter on this side because this is the side of the creek that's going to be like near the things that's done, like used in farmland and stuff. Whereas the other side is just kind of left to go wild. So I might go a little more wild on this side. I will definitely need more firefly bushes though, and other stuff. Let's see, maybe we'll go with like a normal bush here. And maybe we'll do a little dark oak sapling like there. And maybe, if we're feeling generous, we'll throw in a little weeping willow guy there. So I'm going to be just doing that basically down the whole lazy river thing. One, bum, 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 bum. That seemed fairly effective. I worry this might be kind of forming a pattern, so I might kind of... No, I destroyed it. I didn't want to do that. Okay. Anyway, I'm worried that doing that will create a pattern, so I think I might just kind of do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of fake out, a little bit of that. Got to keep them guessing, you know? I think if I were going to put thought behind this, what I would say is that the dead bushes should be farther away from the stream than the living stuff. Kind of like something grew up really fast after the water swelled. Swelled? I think that's the right word. And yeah, like it grew up very fast after the water swelled, and then after the water receded back to normal, it didn't get the amount of nutrients that it needed. If I were to put some sort of like thought process behind it, but I did not. So do I want to do the tall grass? Maybe very sparingly. Like super sparingly. Ooh, that's an idea. What if, I don't know if I'm going to do this, but this might look kind of cool actually. What if there were some spots where you had like a seed that actually kind of grew up? That's a nice touch. I gotta be honest, that's kind of a cool touch. Oh, that's so good. Oh man, that's one of those like super light things though, so I really want to keep that to a minimum. I am not going to worry too much about it. I really do like the look of it though. Oh my goodness. Yeah, because there's like a little more life to it than the dead grass. Anyway, I'm going to actually place a whole bunch of regular tall grass, or short grass, I guess. And then I'm going to bone meal them up on this side. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to place probably a lot. I might even go through and bone meal just the regular patches of dirt, or the regular patches of grass blocks, to try to get a bunch that I can then just bone meal further for extra height. Man, that looks good. Okay. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty good at this. Actually, I might have another... Oh, I just keep getting glimpses of it, and I just want to look at it. It's always a good sign when you finish, or when you're not even finished with a project, and you're just like, just look at that! What the heck? Oh! I have kind of finished it. As you can see, it is super dark, and I kind of like that. Unfortunately, there is a spot that I haven't lit up. I think it's here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So these give off a light level of 7, and if you place them about this close, you should be okay. I think that's about right. Anyway, that might be a little bit of an ongoing issue. But, I mean, come on. Look at it. It's so good. I genuinely want to live here and just like sit here, stare at it, listen to the bugs. I don't think I'd care for the mosquitoes that this would definitely have, but I would definitely like that. I definitely would love to just move here. It's so good. Do I have... I should have a flint and steel in here. Is it worth it to try to light up a couple of the candles? Would that look weird? Yeah, that looks weird. Obviously, that would look weird. No, I have actually not done this yet, but I think we're going to go ahead and turn on a couple of shaders to see how this looks. Oh, man. It's so good. So, as you can see, a lot of very tall grass. I also added, obviously, a couple more of the wheat, but I also threw in just a couple of the berry bushes. I think it gives it a nice little wild sort of pop that's not like wildflowers or anything, and it's kind of consistent enough that, I don't know, I think it gets the point across. But man, this was a lot of fun. This took longer than I expected, I will admit, but I am so happy with it. Because of how orderly the rest of this area is going to be, I think having this really wild section is going to really make it all look so good. Let me actually get these maps updated. So this is before I did any of that. Oh man, yeah. I know I'm just like repeating myself by saying that over and over again, but genuinely, it's so good. One thing that I realized after I finished and just kind of was staring at it, I think what I want is a tree. Oh no, that's not great. Well, dang it, man. You try to do some mood lighting and this is what you get. I will, oh. So miraculously, I think it only actually blew up the dirt, which, not bad. Not bad at all. As I was saying, though, I kind of think one of the things that I might do, I haven't quite decided yet, I think I might do a giant tree. I say giant. I mean man-made, entirely made by me, tree that's sort of like leaning over. Or do I want it to follow the line up, like it's leaning with the slope of the hill? That's the other option. Or I could have it leaning out over the slope. It's definitely going to be leaning, I can tell you that. Unfortunately, that is all the time I have for today. If you enjoyed this, please let me know. And if you want to see more of this, subscribe, stick around. I'm going to be filling out this entire area. A lot of fields, but, you know, also a lot of other stuff. So that'll be fun. So thank you so much for watching. I have been Chuck Ross. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. I'm stuck.